building up the blocks like a me. Elliot got water dripping out the city. Oh my God, boy, he got a God. Oh my God, boy, that boy on top. Sippin' walk, make my heart stop. Audio, yeah, my love, my thigh. Yo, I let it go. Put her on roll, put that whole payroll, put that whole on go. Yeah, she like to go, yeah, she love to blow. Get that dick so, like the snow cone. Yo, get that bag, show 'em how to ball. I'm in the mall, yeah, I'm saying. Give me a minute, yeah, I need a minute, I'm in a minute, I'm need a minute, I'm gonna tell you, hey, Cardi B and Pippin, Cardi B and Kick the shit in, yo, give me a minute.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me. Please let me know. I'm back. Let's go, man. Let's go. I wasn't gonna go live today, but I was like, this is gonna be like a test day today. That's what I'm gonna do. A little test day. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm back. Hey. There's a lot to talk about. Especially about the Dolphins. I got mixed feelings about the new coaching staff. A whole bunch of nobodies, but I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. It depends on who we get at quarterback. That's all it depends on. To be honest. You already know I'm back. I already know. Shout out to my boy. I already know I'm gonna be back, man. I already know it. I'm gonna wait till a few more people hop on. I see everybody else blow up off of stream. I was like, man, I've been doing this. I might as well just, get back to where I started. 6,000 subscribers. Come on, man. Let me get to that 10K. Let me get it 10K, man. Come on. For real. I'm supposed to be lit. For real. We live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. We live on all three. I came back to a StreamYard. It's $40 a month now. That's crazy. StreamYard used to be like $20 for the pro plan, but now it's $40. Everybody's streaming now. Everybody is streaming. For real. Shout out to my boy Stan, man. It's been a minute. Hope you and your fam having a prosperous New Year's Eve. For real, I am. Appreciate you, fam. For real. I just been working on me, to be honest. Just working on me. Everything's straight now, for sure. Everything's straight, but I'm gonna always hop back to this YouTube, especially with the amount of subscribers I got. 6,000 don't sound like a lot, but a lot of people don't reach that number. A lot of people don't reach that number, to be honest. That's that inflation tax for real. StreamYard know everybody want to be a podcaster now. Everybody want to do this live streaming stuff. I'm seeing everybody else get lit off of it. I'm like, let me just hop back on. It's not like I'm trying to ride the trend. I'm just trying to hop back on to what I was doing before. That's it. I know a lot of people not going to be back on my stream because it's been so long. I might get shadow banned. Who knows? But I just wanted to hop on whenever I want to. I don't care about the viewers right now. They're going to come anyway. They're going to come anyway, for sure. For sure. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot to talk about, dog. A lot to talk about. I don't know what to go over first. The coaching staff, Jeff Hafley. I wanted Shula or Kubiak. That's who I wanted, but I don't know. Stephen Ross, he hired Sullivan, and they all came from Green Bay, and he got a lot of guys from Green Bay to be on the Dolphins. So now it's the Green Bay Dolphins now. The Green Bay Dolphins. I don't know why we did that for. The team had no success. I mean, they had success, but at the same time, I felt like that wasn't the best hire. So you telling me we fired Mike McDaniel because of that? We fired Mike McDaniel to get Hafley? Did we really do that? Is that really an upgrade? No. Like, only time going to tell. The only difference is you going to get a culture change with Hafley. That's the only difference. A culture change. But, I feel like Mike McDaniel was a better OC than Hafley was as a DC, in my opinion. I could have lasted another year with Mike McDaniel. I could have lasted, but I don't know why the Dolphins let him go. I thought when we let go of Mike McDaniel, we was gonna get Harbaugh. That's what I thought, but he went to the Giants. So I think we fired him on accident, thinking that we could get Harbaugh, but we ended up not getting him. And now we got Hafley. So I'm like 50-50 with this coaching staff. With this coaching staff, you got to find that franchise quarterback. They can't make somebody who is not the one. You can't do that. There's a lot of QB options that we could go after. ATR. Some of y'all going to say, no, not Anthony. He not good enough. But, hey, you got to look at the potential. The quarterbacks in the draft, I don't know how I feel about them. Like, Mendoza, I don't know. He went 16-0. He won the Natty. That's good for him. But at the same time, I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. And on top of that, we all know he's going to the Raiders. They got the first overall pick, so they don't get the best quarterback. They need him. I'm hearing about the dude from Arkansas, Taylor Green, the 6'6" quarterback. I'm hearing about him. Who else I'm hearing about? I think there's a quarterback from North Dakota State that's been balling out. North Dakota State. Chambliss, is he going back to school? Is Chambliss going back to school? We got to figure that out because, we got to make the right move at quarterback if we want to be a good team. Or are you going to stick out another year with Tua? Are you going to do that? Are you willing to do that? Just got to be consistent again to pick up the steam for real. I think it's going to be easy. Hafley going to be the downfall of the Dolphins. Hey, on Twitter, I said 2 years tops. For real. We going to be worse. We're going to be worse unless we find the right quarterback. If them boys mess up at quarterback, it's over. It's a whole nother year of a disaster. And we're going to have a high draft pick, and we're probably going to get the dude from Miami, maybe, Mensah. A lot of people like Mensah's playing style. 6'3", pretty good ball spinner. I like his throwing for real. I do like his throwing. So I think we could work with Mensah. I think we could work. DG, let's promote you. Come in. I don't know what the heck this is right here. Where's this from? This is from Kick. Yeah, Kick. This man Hafley let the Bears score 25 points in the fourth quarter. This dude is ad. That's what I'm saying. We hired him right after he did that. We hired him. So it just don't make no sense to me. It seems like it's favoritism. He just came from the Packers, so he gonna show love to his boy off rip. He gonna show him love before anybody else. You know, we had Don Shula's son come in for an interview. He couldn't get the job. Don Shula, the most winningest head coach of all time, and we ain't get his son. You know, I've been hearing that he bombing the interviews, like he not doing good, but still, I felt like that was the guy right there, Shula or Kubiak, either one of those two, or if Lafleur, I'm gonna say Lafleur, the Packers head coach. If he ended up leaving Packers, I would have been happy to get him over to Miami. I know he's a good head coach. I'm happy Chambliss coming out. Oh, he's coming out for real? He's coming out for real? Okay. Hey, we're going to see if the Dolphins pick him up. We're going to see. But everybody's saying Malik Willis because he was with the Green Bay Packers. That's what everybody's saying. So we're going to see if it's him. You know, I remember him from Liberty. I think that's the school name, Liberty. You know, great runner. You know, strong arm too, but can he put it all together? You know, he might have one big year like LJ did and might die off after that. Maybe. But we gonna see, man. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna just go over the Dolphins roster, keep y'all updated in regards to my thoughts throughout this whole time I've been away, and talk about each position. That's what we're gonna do. But first things first, man. Let's talk about all these players that are making the Pro Bowl without putting up any stats. You know, Shedeur, you know, I'm not hating on you, but come on, you don't deserve it. Justin Fields, they asked Justin Fields to go to the Pro Bowl. They asked him. That's sad right there. That's sad. You asked him after what the Jets put out there? Come on, man. Come on, and he denied it too. If my team had a record like the Jets, I would have went to the Pro Bowl. He don't even know what team he's gonna be on next year. He for sure not gonna be on the Jets. That's for sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe they try it out again. They might have to, but I feel like they're gonna try it out with a young quarterback. You know, get one later in the draft. You know, even though Mendoza going first, you know, we can't be sleeping on these other quarterbacks. Well, I feel like there's a chance that Mendoza is not the best quarterback in this draft class. There's a good chance of that. So it could be somebody else that just pops out and really ends up being better than Mendoza because they have better traits than him. You know, that's what I feel like. So Jets, they could just come out of nowhere with a good quarterback and be a successful team, but I don't think they're gonna make the right choice. You know, everybody who goes there to die. That's what I'm seeing. Everybody who goes there to die. Nobody make it out alive, but you can't make it out alive if you go to the right team. Sam Darnold, who was Robert Saleh? Shout out to him. He got the Titans job with Cam Ward. That's a pretty good deal right there. Watch, he gonna show out with the Titans. I will put money on the Titans right now. Kid you not. But yeah, man, on the Pro Bowl, it's a joke. Can't take them boys serious no more. It's just sad, man. It's sad. The game is changing before our eyes, but there's nothing I could really do about it to change the game. You just gotta deal with it. You know, Vegas taking over the game now. You know, they making stuff that's not supposed to be happening happen because people got too much bread on one side. It's crazy. It was never like this back in the day. For sure. But let me see. Hold on 1 second. Miami Dolphins roster. Man, you can't hear me? Hold on. just looking at the Dolphins roster real quick. Hold on. I'm just looking it up right now. I think it was Player Profiler. My bad, y'all. Just 1 second. Okay, I think I see it. All right. We just gonna go over the roster. I'm gonna give y'all my true, honest opinion about everybody on the roster right now. And that's it for today. You know, I talk about the coaching staff. With more streams down the line, we're gonna talk about every coach, you know, even practice squad players. I'm gonna try to see who's on the practice squad. I like analyzing the whole roster. That's what I like to do. The whole roster. So for quarterback, you got Quinn Ewers and Tua still. You know, two guys that you can't be too confident about them being the franchise quarterback. You know, we thought it was gonna be Tua, but this year he proved that he's not the guy. It took all this time. Same thing with Tannehill. It took us all this time to realize he's not the guy. You know, as each year went on, you kind of saw the shift of people not liking Tua. So now everybody, like not Tua-neers, but Wolverines, whatever we used to call them. You know, Tua-neers. Everybody that now. Everybody that. So with the quarterbacks, I don't know who we're going to get. There's a lot of options out there. I like Anthony Richardson, Davis Mills, Texans. In the draft, if Chambliss really coming out, I do like him. You know, he's like a more agile tool, but a righty. So I could work with that. I think he throws with his right arm, if I'm not mistaken. But that boy only 5'11". 5'11". I don't know about them short quarterbacks, man. I don't know. I'm 6 foot, but still, I don't want no quarterback that's shorter than me. If you're going to be my starting quarterback, you got to be taller than me. You got to be taller than me, for sure, for sure. At least 6'2". At least 6'2". What other quarterbacks I like? You know, a lot of the quarterbacks that I like are still in school right now. So I feel like next year going to be a better year for the quarterbacks. You know, I did like Dante Moore. But if he had came out, the Jets would have definitely took him. Definitely. Because the Jets got the number 2 overall pick in the draft. So they definitely need a quarterback. And Dante Moore would have been that guy. So maybe Dante Moore is actually available for the Dolphins next year. You know, but there's not a lot of Oregon quarterbacks who end up being really good. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that end up being really good. You know. Let's see. Pro Bowl is a joke, for sure, for sure. Definitely a joke. Just a big 7-on-7 tournament. I don't even think I watched clips of the Pro Bowl, to be honest. I don't even think so. Vegas got that game all the way. So even the college players betting, gotta go watch the Tennessee basketball coach said. Damn shame. Oh, I think I seen that. That height don't matter at QB. Drew Brees and Russell Wilson prove that as long as they can avoid pressure, they good with me. That's definitely facts. Definitely fact. You know, so if Chambliss could be like one of those guys, like you locked in, you're going to practice every day, you eating healthy, you're on the meal plan, we could work with that because that shows that you got work ethic. That's what that shows. That's what that shows. You can't be limited in size and you're not taking the quarterback position seriously. You already at a downfall, so you got to take advantage of you being on the shorter side, and you got to keep on grinding. To be honest, keep on grinding. Shout out to what? White Nose Earl. What kind of name is that? What kind of name is? Come on, man. It's the Oregon system. That shit not NFL compatible. That's what I'm saying. Bo Nix, he led the Broncos to a good year, but he ain't really proved nothing to me. Marcus Mariota, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. Justin Herbert, he seems like the best quarterback to ever come out of Oregon. Justin Herbert, out of all the guys who came out, Justin Herbert seems like the best quarterback to come out of Oregon. But even now, we can't even use that terminology because these kids are transferring to a school every year. Every year. So when they go to the league, what school you gonna rep? What school will you represent? Like, come on, pick one. Pick one and stick it out. That's it. That's it. There go my boy Billy. What's good, Billy? I told you I'll be back this week. Billy. I told you. For sure. I guess it's an off-season thing. I wasn't on stream ever since the season. When I first started feeling like this year wasn't going to be a good year, that's when I hopped off and just focused on myself, man. It's kind of like you going through a breakup and you just, man, let me just lock in. Now I'm back and I'm better. And, I'm here to talk about the team. Hopefully you made the right choice by getting Hafley, but, I still have my doubts just like everybody else. Still have my doubts. Still do. Let's go over the rest of the roster. We got Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon, and Alec Ingold. I was okay with our running back room. I wish they got more carries, especially Jalen Wright. Every time Jalen Wright ran that ball, you could tell that he was running with a purpose. Like, he wasn't playing around out there. He was trying to get 10 yards per carry out there. That's where he ran. But if the O-line is not protecting like they should, you're not going to produce with those carries. You're not. But I still see the potential. We got Devon Achane. Everybody know about Devon Achane. But we really got these two running backs right here to try to complement Devon Achane with power. Now we just trying to figure out who's going to be the better power running back in the system to pair along with Devon Achane, because we know we're not letting Devon Achane go. And, either one of these two running backs will be starting for an NFL team right now. If they show that potential next year, if they show like, damn, these guys deserve to be starters. Ollie Gordon, he almost won Heisman as a running back. Almost. And Jalen Wright, I don't know. I just see that fire in him to be a starting NFL running back. I don't think he want to settle with being a backup his whole career. I don't think so. I think Jalen Wright want to be a starter. But, you could have a successful team with two good running backs, just like the Detroit Lions. But we got to figure out who's going to be that Montgomery for us. We already got Jahmyr Gibbs. Who's going to be that Montgomery? Is it going to be Jalen Wright or Ollie Gordon? That's what we got to decide. So that's how I feel about the running backs currently. Do we need another one? Not really, but I would love a decent backup for Devon Achane, somebody with a similar skill set as Devon Achane. That's what I really want. And then let Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon do their thing. And I'll be okay with the running back room. So we don't got to invest early in the running back room this year. we're kind of okay. But you still don't want to pass up on a very good running back if they fall in like the 5th or 6th round. 5th or 6th round, I would take a look at a running back. Usually if you get a running back that low, they still end up being actually okay for your team. If you have a average to good offensive line. Receivers, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Taj Washington, Theo Weiss, Tyreek, and AJ Henning. It seems like we're going to cut Tyreek, to be honest. That's what it seems like. I don't want to let him go. People feel different ways, but I get how the business go. You got to cut him to save money. So if you got to cut Tyreek, we could go ahead and do that. So we can have more salary cap to sign new players to add to this new culture that we're going into with Hafley. That's what we got to do. We know Waddle going to be here. Hafley talk about Waddle. Malik Washington, he's still on that rookie deal, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be here. Nick Westbrook-Akine, he'll probably be somebody that he'll like more than these speed guys, I shall say, because we definitely do need more size in the receiving room. Theo Weiss, I think like 6'3", but he doesn't play like that big up top receiver that we really need in this offense. Tyreek Hill, I can't really talk about him being in the future until I know for sure that he's going to be on this team. Until I know for sure, because I don't really know. I really know. AJ Henning, I don't know about him, but I feel confident Theo Weiss has a chance to be on the team next year based off what he did towards the end of the season. He has a good chance. I can see that. Taj Washington, even though he ain't really pop off this year, I do see him having a chance to make the team. Same thing with Westbrook, Malik Washington, Jalen Waddle. So we got a solid 4, but we could definitely use another 6'3", 6'4" receiver to put in our offense. Or you could do it at tight end. We do need tight end unless we get Darren Waller back. Unless we get Darren Waller back, then okay, we'll be good at tight end, but we still got to invest in draft one if we sign a big time one. Your thoughts on Jonah Coleman? Bruising running back from Washington. Good catcher as well. He will be a good compliment. He like a chubbier Devon Achane, in my opinion, when I watch the film. A chubbier Devon Achane. He not as fast as Devon Achane, but they shorter guys, but he got a good like center of gravity to like good contact balance. When you try to hit him, he doesn't go down because he's so short, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Good vision. I wouldn't mind him, but I'm not spending no first on him. I think he like worth like a 3rd right now. A 3rd, 4th round pick. That's why I would spend on him. Yeah, 4th round pick. I wouldn't mind spending that on a running back if he's good enough. If he's good enough, I wouldn't mind spending that. For sure. Oh, there go my dog CB. What's good, CB? What is good? I'm back. I told you I was back. Man. Shout out to my dog CB. Now you got to pop out too. I came back to StreamYard and the price is going up, but it's okay to me now. I can handle it. Price is going up. We have enough thirds for him. For who exactly? For Jonah Coleman? That's what you talking about, Billy? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Tight ends, Julian Hill, Tanner Connor. Julian Hill, one thing about him, he gonna fight his ass off to be on his team, man. Either it's blocking, he'll drop a ball, but it doesn't factor into the fact of him being a great blocker. you'll see some of his like blocking plays, and you're like, damn, like he look like he could play O-line. He look like he could play O-line. Add on a good 40, 50 pounds, bro. But we do need that versatile tight end. You know, I have my eyes on Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts. You know, something about Kyle Pitts playing in Florida. That's what he needs in his career right now. That's what Kyle Pitts needs. He needs to be back in Florida, so you might as well come to Miami. You might as well come to Miami, to be honest. Come to Miami. Tanner Connor, he got cut. I don't know. Maybe they signed him to a future deal. I'm not too sure, but the only tight end we have is Julian Hill, somebody who was undrafted. And I know we definitely going to invest in one this offseason. But looking back at the former team that Hafley came from, what kind of tight ends do they like? Is it like tight ends like Kyle Pitts? No, but at the same time, if you add Kyle Pitts, add tight end to this Miami Dolphins team, he could be that big receiving threat that we actually need. You add him at tight end and you add one in the draft, a bigger receiver later on, like second, third, fourth round. You know, there's a lot of good receivers in this draft class that will make the Dolphins better. Way better, to be honest. It's just the protection. But, you know, enough of our old linemen showed us signs of, you know, being on this team next year. A lot of them. Aaron Brewer, Patrick Paul, Cole Strange. You know, I remember him. He got drafted in the first round by the Patriots, but he ain't work out over there. But he went to a scheme that works better for his skill set. And look now he's a good piece to the Miami Dolphins offensive line. Now we got 2 holes to fill on the O-line. 2 holes. If you get great scheme fits, you don't have to waste like a high draft pick on getting like a top tier O lineman. Just as long as that O lineman fit your scheme, you can make it work, just like the 49ers. You know, but if a good O lineman is in the first or second round, take him. Don't get me wrong. I love me an O lineman. I love me an O lineman for real. Wait, let me get to the comments. So much to talk about. I've been Ghost. You know, CB, I'm back. So whenever you ready for Nightcap, we can hop on Nightcap for sure. Jonah Coleman, yeah, I would spend like a third. If you have a lot of picks in the third round, he would be worth a third round pick for sure. Definitely. Receiving room is gonna look real weak without Tyreek. But I feel like we could replace Tyreek. That's why I feel like there's this one kid out of Georgia, Zachary Branch. I forgot his last name, but Georgia runs a 4.3 something, 4.2, similar speed as Tyreek. He would be a clutch guy to pick up if you're trying to replace Tyreek right away. Get him. Trust me. Get him or get a taller receiver that runs a really fast 40. You know, he could break the top off the defense with his long stride and speed. Combined with that, Tyreek Hill, he just got that speed, but that stride is not going to be there because he's only 5'10", 5'11". You know, so we got a lot of work to do, bro. A lot of work. You know, that's why I wanted an experienced head coach that did this before. That's why I wanted that. Is Hafley really gonna fix this? Is he? You know, he don't feel like a coach that could do good with the average quarterback. His quarterback gotta be at least very good or elite for his team to be successful. He need a quarterback that's going to carry the team on their back when the defense can't play well, because he showed signs of his defense not playing well over there with Green Bay. He showed signs of that. He did. So what makes us think that if we don't have a good quarterback right now, he's going to be able to find the right one to put on our team, to put the team on his back if the defense give up 40 points. You have Micah Parsons on the team, Trayvon Diggs on the team, and them boys still put up a lot of points on your defense, even though your defense ranked high in stats. You know, them boys still got scored on. Defense wasn't like Jesse Minter's defense with the Chargers. It wasn't like that. So, I don't know. I do not know. We did nothing with Tyreek, but he's still a threat. You know, y'all know what I mean. When you have a big-time threat like Tyreek, it helps you out with the DBs. Now they want to back up because they're scared that Tyreek going to take the top off the defense. That's the main purpose of having a threat like Tyreek. It's always good to have that speed receiver, you know, but with a speed receiver with Tyreek Hill's skill set, it makes the defense more scared. You know, some receivers just have speed. That's going to scare a DB, but if you got speed and skill, that's a deadly combination. Reek had one of his best seasons. You know, almost hit 2K. Tyreek Hill is not just speed. He's skill, but we don't know about the speed part. That injury was pretty bad. I think that was the time when I stopped streaming, when Tyreek had that ACL or whatever. That ACL test, that's when I hopped off. I was like, nah, it's over. No way we doing this without Tyreek. That's what I thought. It's over now. That one season mounted into what exactly? No playoff wins. That's all I know. No playoff wins. Tua got him to the number one ranked player in the top 100. Come on, bro. Come on. Hey, CB is still 2 in here. That's what I see. CB is still 2 in here. Shake my head, man. I thought CB would be a wolf packer right now. That's what I thought. But he's still a 2 in here. Come on. The whole Dolphin fan base is a wolf pack. There's a very few rare amount of people that are still 2 in years. They come out every so in a blue moon. But other than that, they disappear. They're extinct now. As a team, we didn't win nothing, but he produced. Now, last year, 15 interceptions. 15? If you're a quarterback and you throw more than 14 interceptions, I'm going to look at you funny. No matter how much touchdowns you throw, 14 interceptions is unacceptable. That's where I draw the line. 14 interceptions and over is done for. You got something to fix in the offseason if you're throwing that much interceptions. You really do. I guess Reek and Tua won the division that season. I guess. Tua and Tyreek lost how many games that December? Wins are a team stat. 3 phases. Don't be a cat. We'll be fine without Tyreek. I fought the IQ of football fans. Being smart about football isn't a flex. That's for CB83 from. That's for CB83 fam. Okay, I forgot IQ of football fans. And CB. Still living in 2023 is wild. Tua might get a shot. Shot where here? The only time I'm gonna believe that is if Adam Schefter says something about that. The only time. I was talking about Tyreek. 2030, they'll still bring up the 2023 season. You know, I feel like once we get a new quarterback, or once we figure out who the starting quarterback is going to be, that's when we're going to erase that 2023 season, because we're onto a new journey now with a new quarterback. You know, it's kind of like we getting into a new relationship with somebody else, and we're gonna be in it for at least 2 years. So we got to see how those 2 years go out to see if it's gonna be a lifetime. You know, sometimes like even in relationships, after 2 years, you're gonna know like if you want to stay with the dom or not. If you want to stay with the female or not. After 2 years, you gotta know for sure. So just like with your quarterback, if you got a quarterback for 2 years and you still can't figure it out, let them boys go. You know, but it take the Dolphins a long time to get out relationships. 6 years, Tannehill. No, I think Tannehill was like 7 years. 2 or 6 years. You know, so how long we gonna go? You know, running through these QBs, man. Would the Dolphins stop being bachelors and settle down? That's what we waiting on. Because obviously you showing us you're looking for your next quarterback in the wrong places. Because you're failing at having successful relationships with your quarterback because they're not doing nothing for you. You know? So we're going to see if Tua ends up playing again with the Dolphins because there is a chance because we save money if he still plays for us. We save money instead of just cutting them or letting them be on another team. Right now, I barely see a few teams that would need Tua at this moment. I feel like a lot of NFL teams would settle with a rookie quarterback and put Tua in a QB competition to see if he could beat them out during camp. That's what I feel like. Let me see. Offensive line, shout out to Aaron Brewer. Jonah, I know you get a lot of pressure, a lot of smoke about your performance this year, you know, but you're a rookie, so I'm going to give you a chance. You know, like you look at Jonah, he looked the part. He looked like a guard. He looked like a Pro Bowl guard, but he just ain't play that way. I'm going to give him the offseason, you know, to get right, and I think he's going to be able to perform next year. I think so. I see the potential. Even though he played bad, I see potential. You know, so please, Jonah, play good because I said this. You know, prove me right. Patrick Paul, you know, a good tackle. You know, good pick by Chris Greer. But he gone now. Keon Smith, I don't think he on the team. He probably practice squad. Andrew Meyer, he was the backup center, but it doesn't even matter because we got a dog at center. Austin Jackson, injuries, consistent. He consistent with them, so I don't know if he's going to stay on the team. I do not know. James Daniels played, like 1 or 2 games, hurt. And, you know, we should have seen the signs based off his history. And, you know, consistently hurt. We should have seen the signs, but we needed some help on the O-line. We needed that for real. But I feel like the Dolphins will be able to fix the O-line when next year comes around. You know, putting guys who fit the new scheme would definitely be great. But one thing about the Packers that I like with their offensive line, you know, they find diamonds in the rough. You know, they don't usually go after the top tier offensive linemen, but you know, they find good linemen in like the 2nd, 3rd rounds, and they still work in their scheme. Still works. Let me see. I like yours cooking better. I'm hearing that Aaron Rodgers might come to the Dolphins. That's what I'm hearing. Because that relationship with, you know, the Packers or whatever or whatnot. And I don't know. With the Vikings, I'm hearing that they're willing to trade everything that they have to go get Joe Burrow. That's what I'm hearing. I heard they got a package of 3 first-round picks, Jonathan Grenard, and somebody else. They willing to do everything that they can to get Joe Burrow to fix that problem that they did, like with not trading away, but letting go Sam Darnold. I know they regret that by firing the GM. right after Sam Darnold won the NFC championship game. Breaking news. Fired. I don't even know his name. I don't even know Buddy's name, but I felt bad for him. Man. Adoe, something like that. But his whole time being the GM of the Vikings, he didn't really draft well. It didn't go too good for him. It didn't. He gonna play but not start. Yeah, that's for sure. But one thing about Tua, when he come off the bench, he a way better quarterback. When he come off the bench. Now, as a starter, he'll definitely have his streaks of being good until he meets a very good team or plays in cold weather. Then he goes all the way down dramatically. You can tell. It's like the muscles tighten up and he's not the same quarterback. That's what it seems like. I need Zach to cook up this season. Who's Zach Wilson? Yeah, Zach Wilson out of here, man. Zach Wilson out of here. You couldn't even beat Quinn Ewers this year, so you could play before him. You can even do that. That was an easy task right there. If you was a franchise quarterback, you would have been able to make it out of that gauntlet of quarterbacks. Tua and Quinn Ewers. You let both of them boys beat you out. Both of them. So that goes to show me like Zach Wilson probably don't got that juice in him that we seen in college. He probably don't. The Vikings had their Joe Burrow and they let him go. So now they trying to fix their mistake by letting everything go. They willing to let go of Jonathan Grenard. Shout out to him, a former Gator. Shout out to him. They're willing to let him go and 3 first-round picks and 2 other players. They willing to let all those guys go to the Bengals just so they could get Joe Burrow. But I do think it makes sense. In regards to Justin Jefferson getting his old quarterback back. Jamar Chase, he's still gonna be with the Bengals, but let's say the Bengals traded for McCarthy. Maybe he could do a pretty decent job with the Bengals with Zach Taylor. A fresh start. You got 2 good receivers on the outside, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Maybe that trade-off might work for both teams. Who knows? Just like with Jared Goff getting traded over to Detroit and Matthew Stafford going to the Rams. That might fix both teams, to be honest. He did a Chris Greer for sure. D-line, we got Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers. Zeke Biggers look like T-Pain. Neil Farrell, Zach Sealer. There's more guys on the roster for sure, but for the most part, we had our 3 rookies. It seems like Kenneth Grant didn't play up to that first round potential. But I still see the signs. I love his personality, his characteristics as a player. It seems like he will try to get better this offseason. He's not just gonna go lay around. He will put in that work. He will. Zach Sealer, we already know about him. Not his best season, but we definitely needed a guy like this in our locker room to mentor all of these rookies that we had at D tackle. So we going into next year not really needing D tackle. We could probably still pick one up in the later rounds just to add more depth. But, I'm pretty happy with our D tackle trio that we got right now. Pretty happy with the guys that we picked up. Offensive line, like I told you, I would spend a first or a second on offensive line. Edge, Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson, Grayson Murphy, Cameron Good, Muhammad Kamara. He on the Buccaneers, I think now. So we don't have these other two guys on the bottom right here. But Chop Robinson, hopefully we see more from him next year. Hopefully we see more. I thought Chop Robinson was going to get 10 sacks this year. That's what I thought, but he didn't get that. He did not get that. Bradley Chubb, it seems like he probably going to a different team this offseason, in my personal opinion. You know, you could let Bradley Chubb go, but get somebody as good or better than him. You know, there should be some decent edge guys available on the market. Some pretty decent ones available. Grayson Murphy, you know, outplaying his undrafted rookie draft stock that he had coming out. Cameron Good, I think we picked him up in the 7th round, 6th round a few years ago. He's still on the team. He went through a lot of regimes and he still ends up staying. You know, so maybe he ends up impressing like every coaching staff that comes in through Miami, and he might do the same with Hafley and being a part of his defense. We're gonna see. So D-line, we definitely need help on the D-line. If Ruben Bain falls to our pick, we got to pick him up. People talk about his arms are too short, this and that, yada, yada. I'm not hearing it. If Ruben Bain falls to our first round pick, we got to get him. That's a safe pick right there. You know, any from the crib, come on, man. Miami, don't do that to him. If he's there at 11, y'all boys better pick him up. I know we need O-line help, but if Ruben Bain is there, Miami, you know what to do. Don't make me mad. If you pass up on him, all hell gonna break loose, man. Linebackers, my dog Jordan Brooks. I ain't see a linebacker this good in a very long time. You know, last time I seen a linebacker this good, you know, no disrespect to the other linebackers. You know, Fred Warner, he definitely up there. Bobby Wagner back in the day, definitely up there. But like Patrick Willis, that was a dog to me. You know. And funny thing is, he went to Texas Tech, which was the school of our former linebacker, Zach Thomas. So they got that connection. So, hey, if you're a linebacker, Texas Tech, we coming for you. You know, Texas Tech linebackers do well to the Dolphins. They really do. Billy laughing. I'll draft best player available DT in any round. Really? I don't think I'm spending a first round pick on DT. Second, third, fourth, yeah. But first, nah. I wouldn't do it first. Cornerback, I would definitely spend a first round pick on a cornerback. A very, very good one. Jason Marshall. You know, those rookie pains definitely were there. You know, we was trying to figure out where he would be best at. Corner, nickel, even a little bit at safety. You know, I feel like he could maximize his potential at nickel, but I still want him to play a mixture of the outside, just so you can still have that versatility for like a lot of schemes. If he does not end up staying with the team, you never know. But you know, Jason Marshall, he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. You know, I thought he was gonna be like a top tier guy, but he ended up falling late to the 7th round for the Dolphins. Very, very late. You know, he might be a better scheme in this defense compared to what we had last year. Who knows? We're gonna see how they use Jason Marshall in our defense. You know, you got Kendall Sheffield, a fast cornerback from Ohio State, you know, a 5-star recruit as well. We don't have the best cornerback room, but, you know, there's some names in there. You know, Julius Brent, you know, he broke out for the Dolphins. You know, a very long cornerback. Like what, 6'3", 190. And on top of that, he run a 4.5. That's a good time for a cornerback that size. Very good time. A very good time, man. You know, he gonna be able to stick with taller receivers, and his length is gonna be able to help him cover, you know, space against speedy receivers. You know, but the thing with Julius, he's always getting hurt. Always getting hurt, man. You know, when he's out there, he's good. But when he's not out there, it's hurting the team. So that's the only issue with Julius Brents. But he showed enough to the point where we got to give him a shot next year. We got to give him a shot next year. We got to. We got to. If we don't, we stupid. No matter his injury history, we got to give him a shot. You know, hopefully he has a full, healthy year to prove himself as being a very talented cornerback. You know, he got that prototypical cornerback size. Like, this is the size that you want your cornerback to be. That's Julius Brent. That's Julius Brent right there. Ethan Bonner, you know, he got himself a little pick at the end of the season. He got himself a little pick, okay. But who knows? Like, he's still sticking around. He's like the Tanner Conner on defense. That's who he like. So we're gonna see how long he stays with the team, but I don't know. It seemed like Storm Duck ever since he got hurt. Guys came in like Rasul Douglas, you know, did pretty well. I don't know. I don't know. Storm Duck, I feel like he's still gonna be on the team, but we definitely gonna try to do better. Definitely gonna try to do better at cornerback. Probably get somebody in the first, second. You know, I love all these players. If you're a Dolphin, you know, I mess with you, but you know, we gotta be realistic on this live stream. You know, DG keeps it real. At safety, you know, we got Ifatu, Minka, Marcus May, Dante Trader. We definitely gonna need safety help. I'm pretty sure we're not re-signing Ashton Davis. Marcus May, I don't even think he was on the team. You know, Minka Fitzpatrick, I think we have him for another year, right? So we need somebody to pair up with Minka Fitzpatrick. So getting that Caleb Downs kid from Ohio makes sense there, but I would rather get Bain to put at edge or even three technique on our defense. I would do either or. You know, I'd rather get Bain than getting the next best safety, which is probably Caleb Downs. But if either one of them fall to the 11th, you might as well get them and then see what quarterbacks are available that you think has enough traits for you to develop, and he ends up becoming a pretty good quarterback based off of you picking him up and knowing his skill set and you showcasing his talents out there. Then other teams gonna want him, bring him on so he could be the starter. Then that's more first round picks for your team. More first round picks. So I'll draft the best player available, D tackle in any round. So that's the end of the roster. I told you how I feel about every position and how high we need to pick for each position. Y'all give me y'all opinions in the comments. You know, I may be off on a few things, but you know, I'm just going off the dome. I haven't even been checking like the news. I'll probably glance at the news and work on my business, but you know, right now I'm trying to catch up. I gotta watch a lot of college film so I can keep up to date with like who's gonna be some good players. And, you know, I'm not gonna go with society. I'm gonna watch the film myself and dictate that. You know, I can't let other people's opinions dictate on how I feel about, you know, a certain player. You know, I gotta watch the film and see that you're a dog. Just because everybody's saying you're a dog doesn't make me look. You know, I gotta actually see in myself like, dang, this person, he could play. He could play for the Dolphins. You know. But let me go on Twitter real quick. See what Twitter got going on. Let me see. Sean McVay talking about teams hiring head coaches off his coaching staff. It never fails. Every time my wife and I go on vacation, somebody's getting a head coaching job. Then I'm spending too much time on my phone. That's wild. That's wild, man. A is going to die down soon. Like, everybody can't keep copying McVay. Everybody can't keep copying McVay. Like, I understand he innovative, but soon somebody else gonna come in with a whole new, different type of scheme that we ain't ever seen before. Just like Mike McDaniel came on the scene with all the motion, and somebody gonna think of something that nobody ever thought of. You know, something real innovative, but I don't know who it's gonna be. I do not know. You know, I'm not saying McVay is a bad coach, but we gonna see if that scheme is gonna end up on every NFL team if you keep on hiring from the Sean McVay tree. We gotta see about that.
We got a lot of great coaches in house, but our job is to continuously build, and it's like putting together a team. You know, your coaching staff, and we've had a lot of reps at it for a lot of the right reasons. But I am excited about diving in, and it never fails. Every time me and my wife go on vacation, somebody's usually getting a head job, and then I'm spending too much time on my phone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We got a lot of great coaches.
That's how you know he a hard worker. He a hard worker. The Rams hired him at 30. 30. I'm almost in my 30. In my 30s. Almost. And they hired him at 30, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. But shout out to the Rams. You know, they seen the talent in Matthew Stafford to the point where they traded for him, and they reaped the benefits. They got a Super Bowl ring. I don't care that they're not in the Super Bowl, but the boys got their rings already, so it don't even matter. They chilling next year. They're gonna come back if Matthew Stafford come back. I don't know. Rams might win it again next year because they got enough cap space to invest in the roster to surround Matthew Stafford with more weapons than what he already got. That's crazy. That's crazy. Should I play that? How you unmute it?
Shador Sanders has been named a Pro Bowl replacement player. In what world?
Bro, you gotta be joking.
Oh my goodness!
You gotta be joking.
That's what I don't like, bro. Like we cannot reward mediocrity. Like we.
There you go. He said it. He said it. I couldn't have said it no better myself, for real. There you go. But that's what the NFL doing now. That's what the NFL doing. You know, like I was at a high school state football game. Even the losers got like medals and trophies. I was like, what? They ain't do this back in the day. Like, wait, hold on. You know, but hey, like I said, I don't got no power to change things. So I'm gonna just go with the flow, to be honest.
We cannot reward it. I'm sorry. Like if you got more interceptions than touchdowns, bro, there's no way.
At home.
He threw shade at Tua right there. No, I think Tua threw more touchdowns than interception. I think so. Let me look that up real quick. Tua stats. Man, my microphone not working. Hold on. Okay, I think I got it to work now. Tua stats. Tua Tagovailoa stats. Okay. Oh, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Bro, that's disrespectful. 37.6 QBR. Damn. CB, if you still here, hopefully you see this right here. Hopefully CB sees this right here. Hopefully. Dude, that boy's still defending Tua. He's still defending Tua. But yeah, Tua, like, I love your culture, your personality. You're a great human being, just like everybody else be saying. But these stats are unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. You know, but all I hope is we find the right quarterback next year. That's all I hope for. That's all I hope for. Let me see.
Shadour's mediocrity. Like, we cannot reward it. I'm sorry. Like, if you got more interceptions than touchdowns, bro, there's no
be
way
at home.
There's no way you should be rewarded, bro.
Man, you should be at home drinking Starbucks out your personal Starbucks cup like me.
That's crazy. Is that true?
I'm thinking about going back to college. I might could pull it off. I got some years of eligibility.
NCAA, you see what you got older dudes thinking now? When y'all got 55-year-olds joining the team, now everybody feel like they could come off the couch and join an actual football team. Look at what you're causing right now. Y'all gotta change this quick. Y'all gotta change this quick, man. That's why Indiana won the national championship this year. They had a whole bunch of old guys on the roster, you know, fully developed. It was like Miami was playing an NFL team. They kept it close, but at the same time, Cignetti, shout out to him. He knew what would work in college football. So now everybody's going to try to build their team like Cignetti did. Because he did what he did at Indiana. Not at Alabama, not at Georgia, Indiana, he did what he did. So it's possible for you to sign these guys off the couch, you know, who haven't been in school for a few years and, you know, they on the team and they're eligible for the NFL draft. So, you know, I kind of respect it. It kind of shows you, like, no matter what you're going through in life, you can still chase your dream. But, like, with this football, it's a whole different tax bracket. You know?
It's over, bro. Let it go. It's over. Let it go. It's all right.
You know that's what they're doing now? Man, I know I can, like, be a replacement gunner.
Boy, you cannot run down there no gunner.
Replacement gunner. Means I probably won't ever get out there, but that's my position. I replace the gunner.
Bro, you would not get off the line. You would be like in the coolest, bro, on the sideline.
But they gotta touch me first.
Bro, they don't have any slow gunners.
I know. That shit's serious. You out there fighting for their life. Every play, every time you run down there, you fighting for your life.
Exactly.
But Shador, man, back up.
That's nuts.
This shit gotta be for likes or something. Like,
that's wild.
Like, so you telling me you about to put Shador out there? He gonna be throwing to like Jamar Chase.
That's nuts.
Justin Jefferson. Get out of here.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the NFL is doing. It's sad. It's sad. Please let me know in the comments if y'all are able to hear the videos that I'm playing. Please let me know. Please let me know.
You did a good job with the sports things that we have going on defensively. You guys will be.
This is funny right here.
So they did a good job. You know, we give credit. You did a good job with the sports things that we have going on defensively. You guys will be able to remove one now.
Somebody said he brushing his thoughts. Somebody said he brushing his thoughts, man. Were you trying to brush, Bron? Come on, man. Come on. This is old, but still, this is like always funny. This is always funny.
Working against him last month as you turn the calendar, I think 11 out. So they
It's ridiculous. I'm gonna show y'all another funny video. Well, it's not working. Just stop, fam. Just stop, please. Please, this is not meant for you. You know you don't know kung fu. Please stop. Please, like, he gonna keep on going. Look, the mask done came off. Oh man, I died laughing at this. I died laughing. You know, this is why I don't believe in magic no more. Like, especially if I'm not in person looking at it, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No strength. But that's a waste of money right there. All them people who came to watch him do that. All the people who came to watch him do that. That's sad right there. That's sad. Oh man. Let me see what else I got for y'all. My Instagram blowing up, man. I'm trying to see what I'm gonna show y'all. I know exactly what to do. Hold on. Okay, Jalen Phillips, Teron Armstead, they over there in Dubai. You know, that's where the boys go when they don't make it to the playoffs. Huh? Okay, I see. I mean, Jalen Phillips, he made it to the playoffs, but them boys lost to the 49ers with no Trent Williams. That was definitely a Vegas game right there. That was the Vegas game I seen all year. For real. Anthony Weaver, he lands the defensive coordinator job with the Baltimore Ravens, his former team. So it seems like he got soul ties with Baltimore. He keep on running back to him. You know, I'm gonna miss Anthony Weaver. You know, he had his ups, he had his downs as well. You know, but I say for the most part, he had more ups than downs. So, you know, I could work with that as a DC. You know, he's not a bad coach. He got a head coaching interview. So I feel like he's very respected around the league. You know, a good voice in the locker room for the players. That's what I feel like. But, you know, Mike McDaniel getting fired, that pretty much caused him to get fired too. If Mike McDaniel was still the head coach, he would still be the DC for the Dolphins. But since that's not the case, boom, now we stuck with Hafley and whoever he brought in. You know, Weaver has been hired as a non-play calling role. So Weaver's saying like, I'll use your knowledge, but I'ma still be calling this at the end of the day. You gonna learn from me now. That's pretty much what he's saying. You gonna learn from me. This is how you call a defense. This is how you call a defense. Anthony Weaver looked like he could still play. He looked like he could still play. Jeff Hafley is expected to retain defensive line coach Austin Clark on this staff for 2026. So I like this move. You know, I like Coach Clark for our defensive line. You know, even though we ain't performed to how I thought we could have, you know, I still like him as a defensive line coach. I still like him. Joe Barry was replaced by Jeff Hafley as Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator going into 2024. They now join forces on Miami Dolphins in 2026. Hopefully these two guys could learn from both of their mistakes. You know, both of them had their bad moments. Definitely did. Jeff Hafley, he wasn't the best at Boston College. He had his reasons, though. I give him that. He had his reasons. So, you know, how you going to turn a program around like, you know, Boston College? I think he was there when Zay Flowers was there. I do think so. So that's an interesting fact. Devon A-Chain at the Pro Bowl games. Just don't get hurt. I'm not watching, but don't get hurt. Do not get hurt. If you've been following my Instagram, I actually met Devon A-Chain in Miami. You know, pretty cool guy. Met him in Waddle. I met him in Waddle, so that was a cool experience. I know I'm gonna run into A-Chain again soon. I know I will. Miami Dolphins coordinators in 2025: Frank Smith, Anthony Weaver, and Craig Erkerman. And our current is Bobby Slowick, Sean Duggan, and Chris Tabor. You know, so it feels like we downgraded based off our coaching staff. That's what it seems like. Frank Smith, I like him better than Bobby Slowick. I'm not even gonna lie. Sean Duggan, Anthony Weaver, that's not even close. That is not even close. Coordinators, I'm not even going to talk about coordinators because, you know, I don't really get in depth in regards to the special team coordinators. But, you know, all in all, I feel like we downgraded in regards to our coaching staff. You know, but with the head coaching hire, I feel like we stayed stagnant. You know, I feel like we got the more cleaner version of Miami Daniel. But he's the polar opposite based off their minds. You know, one of them is an offensive genius. Another one is a defensive genius. But when you look at both of them together, they look like they're related. So, Hafley, you better make this work, man. This is Miami. You know, he's not the head coach that you would expect to come in and turn Miami around. And, you know, I always imagined it being a different type of head coach. But, you know, it chose Hafley, so he got to make it happen. Like I told y'all earlier, Miami Dolphins have been named as the best landing spot for Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts. You know, he's either Tampa, Miami, or Jaguars for Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. He probably talking to his agent, like, yeah, I want to go back to Florida. I think Kyle Pitts from Georgia, though. I'm not even gonna lie. I think he's from Georgia, but you know, he had a good career at Florida with the Gators. You know, ended up going to the Falcons. You know, wasn't really used well. You know, but Kyle Pitts, he's one of those tight ends that you can line up anywhere. On the outside, inside, slot. If you want to try him at running back, you can do all that. That's a pretty good deal right there with Kyle Pitts. Pretty good deal. Get to the comments. Tua's living proof. CB will explain that OA No, Tyreek is why Tua's QB is that low. And the O line. That's true. Matthew looked like a professional, a boxer, brushing to get cute for that Diddy party. Boards don't hit back. They hit him back for sure. Definitely. Defensive game coordinator is wild. Hey, homie, I can share your stream in a kick community to help you hit 200 followers, 100 viewers, and earn 1,000 per stream. Add me on Discord. Man, this gotta be fake. This gotta be fake. Let me know if that's real. Let me know. He's from Philly. Oh, he's from Philly. Okay, so him going back to Philly. Nah, they got too much tight ends already. They got Grant. They got Dallas Goedert. They got all those guys. Pitts was meant for Flores. Yeah, but Flores is with the Vikings, signed that extension. So Pitts is meant with whoever is on our coaching staff. If you want a dynamic tight end to help save your quarterback's butt, get a receiving threat like Kyle Pitts. This is the perfect option right here. Perfect option. He'll fill a need at tight end and receiver. A 2-in-1 special. 2-in-1 special, no Chinese. Sean Duggan was Jeff Hafley's linebacker coach at Ohio State in 2019 and at Boston College from 2020 to 2023. Duggan then followed him to Green Bay, where he worked under Hafley in 2024 and 2025. Duggan now becomes Hafley's defensive coordinator for the 2026 season. And how old is he? Oh, well, he 30 already, right? I don't know. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about these hires, because I'm still iffy on them, to be honest. Like, what about Slowick gives you faith in regards to our team? What about him? What about him? Did we bring him in so we don't have to change up the scheme too much? That could be possible. So now all you gotta do is hire his own staff that fits his narrative as a coach, and he'll probably be here for a little minute, unless we end up firing Hafley. And that could be a different story. The next regime would probably want, so. But hey, shout out to the coaches. I still gotta love this team, no matter what happens with the Dolphins. I got no choice. We hired a defensive back. Is it linebackers coach from Georgia Tech. Hafley on conversations he had with Tua Tagovailoa. I had a good conversation with Tua. We talked about a lot of things, but ultimately, this is going to come down to who we believe gives us the best chance to win. So it sounds like it's not Tua. Even when Hafley speaks, it doesn't seem like he gonna show that type of hint in regards to how you feel about Tua. He's just gonna wait till he has to, until he's 4. But we're gonna see. But hey, shout out to Tua. There's a team out there that could really use his services. And I hope the weather's not bad wherever he goes. That's what I'm hoping for. What should the Miami Dolphins do with Tua Tagovailoa? Swallow historic cap hit. So people saying just cut him and take that loss. That's what people are saying, but I don't know about that. I do not know about that. Oh, this is Applebaum, one of our former O-line coaches for the Dolphins. I don't know what to really say about him. I don't really know. If he is hired by our new regime, so he'll probably have a say in regards to the running game, so on and so forth. Since he's the assistant offensive line, but ain't no upgrading from a Butch. What I forgot his name, the O-line coach, Butch Berry. I think that's his name. Yeah. Ain't no upgrading from that right there, to be honest. So there you guys have it. I went over the top players for sure. The coaches, I went over all that with y'all. All that. Gave y'all an update. If y'all missed something, you could go to the beginning of the video and we could definitely see if you have a same opinion about the team as I do. We could definitely see that. I feel like me personally, I'd be more confident if we had that person at quarterback, that person. You know, I wouldn't do what the Vikings are willing to do right now, which is overpay a buttload to get Joe Burrow. But, you know, I feel like QB1 is out there for us. That's what I feel like. Get to the comments. Elevating a brother into the NFL. I hope Omar gives Silly and Halfley props for that. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Good looking out and welcome back. Hey, shout out to you, Billy. Billy was the first one who hit me up in 2026 about hopping back on stream. I was like, you know what, man? You know, I got a lot of subscribers anyway, so I might as well just hop back and gain my traction back. Help me get to that 10K, because it got to a point where I wasn't seeing no motion on my YouTube. I didn't see no motion, so I was just like, man, I might as well just stop. But I'm gonna always do this YouTube stuff, especially for the Dolphins. I'm gonna always do this. So please subscribe back again if you can. Very much appreciate it. And we going to the moon for sure. We going to the moon. I'm telling y'all right now, we going to the moon. Let me see here. What else I'm gonna show y'all? Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this one right here. Let me know.
What's y'all beef with Little Caesars? Like, when y'all start getting so much money, you start saying, "Oh, we don't eat Little Caesars, bro. Little Caesars is that, bro." Don't you remember Little Caesars was that for you?
Yeah.
When your pockets was low, when you just needed something to fill you up, tasty though, hot, fresh. Like, why you disrespecting Little Caesars? Like this dude right here on the cover right here, like, this the realest guy I know. This the realest guy on my team. For real, he gonna always be there. Just for me. He came through. I wasn't even tripping when they raised the price up, because he deserved it. He been there. So what? Let him get some more money. He deserved it.
I was pissed off when they raised the prices at Little Caesars. I was pissed off. $7 for one box? I tripping. Meanwhile, Papa John charging $15 for a box. And I'm not saying nothing about them. But when Caesars dropped, they not dropped, but increased the price of the pizza to $7, I'm like, nah. Nah, man, this inflation. Y'all taking inflation too serious now. Subway doing the same thing. Ain't no more $5 subs. Ain't no more $5 subs, you know, and we settling paying $12 for a sub at Publix, but we don't say nothing because we know we can't get it from nowhere else. it's probably gonna be more expensive if you get it from anywhere else, to be honest. Way more expensive. So yeah, I cannot sleep on these delicacies that we had for all of our lives, man. You cannot. Like, don't Little Caesars, show some love too. Y'all stay going to Domino's, Papa John's. Every once in a while, like, show some love back to Little Caesars, the founding father. The founding father, for sure. What else I got for y'all? In regards to the prospects, I gotta start watching some film. On the college players, so I can like rank which ones I like, which ones I don't like. That's a lot of film right there, and I'm gonna hop on every day and talk about the position class and like the top 10 to 15 players that I think the Dolphins should target for each position. But I just gotta watch some film. So right now I'm like taking notes on that just so I can know who I'm gonna choose. I'm taking a few notes on that. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm just trying to find something real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I can't find what I'm looking for. For real. Let me change the lights, man. Yeah, I think I had the right color. Blue seems cool. Well, yeah, like I said, this stream ain't nothing serious. It's just me testing the waters out before I actually like come all in with this. Probably after this, I'm gonna go watch some film on like all the college players, quarterback, O line, D line, linebackers, corners. I'm about to watch film on all those guys, so I can make sure I'm evaluating the right guys that I know would be good picks for the Dolphins. Not just picking what everybody else is picking, but I'm gonna try to find those gems. Hold on, y'all. Come on, I don't know what Twitter doing right now. Trust me, I did not pick this. That's what I was gonna show y'all. I mean, if there's anything y'all want me to talk about, go ahead and ask me in the comments. But that's definitely gonna be my main focus. I would show y'all what I'm looking at, but y'all can see what I'm looking at, but that's ridiculous. CJ Stroud got invited too. But let's look at some clips from the Senior Bowl. That's a good idea. Some practice clips. And that boy got broke. Yeah, that boy was smooth. They took that boy ankles. Damn, number one. What's his name? Tyron Montgomery, the biggest riser from the Senior Bowl. 15 touchdowns last year and same production with that season. Coming from a D3 program, flashing elite ball skills. This is a D3 player doing this at the Senior Bowl, a D3 player. Man, it's crazy right now. Man. D3 players balling out like this. And you can tell that DB went to North Carolina. You see that blue helmet. It's crazy. This is Jacob Rodriguez, a linebacker from Texas Tech. Let me check him out. He seems like a short guy with like 5'11". Okay. You know, Iowa, they be producing linebackers sometimes, for real. Good awareness. You know, it seemed like he got good instincts too, reacting to the ball quick at linebacker. Wait, this is not Iowa. This is Texas Tech. Hey, we got to draft this guy. We got to draft him if he's going to be from the same school as Jordan Brooks. You know, Jordan Brooks, he might be vouching for this guy to be drafted. You never know. But he doing his part, man. He's not getting fooled easily in the passing game like a lot of linebackers do. It seemed like he know what he's doing back there while playing linebacker. It seems like the standouts for this Senior Bowl: Derek Moore, Zion Young, Malachi Fields, Jake Slaughter. And they got old Senior Bowl content. Let me see. Okay, you got the Arkansas running back. Mike Washington is one of my favorite prospects in this draft. Wanted to see how he performed as a receiver at the Senior Bowl, and he delivered. The guy is 6 foot, 228 pounds with ball tracking skills. natural hands. He kind of like Kenyon Drake. Ooh, that was a good route for a running back. That was a good route right there. He still caught it. You know, solid hands. All right, he don't look too bad. Okay. Let's watch this. This is the D3 player right here. They saying he was unguardable. It's one thing to be a D3 player at this type of event, but saying that you're unguardable as a D3 player, it goes to show you D3 could be the new JUCO. Could be the new JUCO. Up top, give me that. See moving. Yeah, I do see some potential in 7. I do see it. But like I said, there's a lot of players for me to go over. So I can't really, tell you like which ones right now. But once I do like come up with a list that I'm gonna make every day, then I should be ready to drop like everybody that I like, not everybody that I don't like, but just the people that I do like on a little list. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, pretty much. One second. Almost done, y'all. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I don't know if I want to say too much right now. That's what I'm saying. If y'all got any other question, I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes. I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes to ask me any other question. If not, I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. I would do a mock draft, but I don't know about the players yet to do a mock draft. I really don't know.
His sleeve, and it as the soda went into the cup, it flowed through a funnel and into a plastic tube that ran down his sleeve, and it drained into a secret reservoir in his bag. You see, Baja Blast was only sold in Taco Bells, so he came up with a plan and posted it online. And that's when other users jumped in to help. They offered tweaks and improvements to the device until they had perfected the design together. He cut a hole in the bottom of the cup and used the tubing to connect it to the sealed container. While
That's
the empty
wild.
cup looked normal from the outside, with a few refills, he stole gallons of soda without anyone noticing. Then he posted the video online, where it spread across the internet as Operation Soda Steal. As the soda
No
went
way this
into
is
the
real.
cup-
Y'all think this is real? Y'all think this is real? Let me know, because this is crazy. It's smart, but it's crazy. You see how his shoulder leaned and it outweighed his whole body? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. And on top of that, like, I need some ideas on streams I should do. Like, I'm gonna show y'all. I might do this for fun, but I don't know. I might get banned on YouTube if I do anything crazy on this app right here. I'm gonna show y'all. This still gonna be a dolphin, YouTube channel, but I'm gonna have some different ideas. Not that much key. I was thinking about doing this. I was thinking about it, just hopping on here on live with somebody else that don't even know me. I was thinking about it, but let me know in the comments if y'all think I should do this. Let me know in the comment. I might not. Who knows? You never know who you're gonna meet on these type of apps, or like right here. The only thing I can say is like keep it PG-13 if we do have conversations, but who's to say they're gonna follow that? Who's to say? I just want to be a very unique channel. Talk about my team, of course, but at the same time, we could switch it up and talk about other things. I'm gonna try to get some people on. I'm pretty sure me and CB still gonna do Nightcap, so we can still give y'all that for sure. For sure. I got work in the morning too. I do got work in the morning at 6? Yeah, 6 in the morning. You just gotta be talented in this like streaming world. Now people see the hard work that comes into it. Like, I could be asleep. Right now, but I miss stuff for real. I miss being on YouTube. And hopefully I could rise to the top with what I got already. Hopefully. But yeah, probably like next week I might hop on this duo, like a duo. I got people I can ask to come hop on too. I got a few people. I'm not gonna sign on now and y'all can see everything. No, if I do it, y'all gonna know I'm doing it. Y'all gonna know.
Montgomery, yet again, we interviewed you yesterday because you stood out, but today, absolutely balled. You saw the vertical on full display. How does it feel after the number 2?
I'm just trying to stack my days, show the coaches, show the players I'm a consistent player. This isn't luck. I've been putting a lot of work in dark. And
that boy said this isn't luck. That's what he said.
Montgomery had an advantage with all the wide receivers.
I play like I got a ball in my hand. When I'm out here on the field, I get the same muscle memory that I've been having on the court. So, I think it's just muscle memory. I was playing since I was a kid, since I was a young dude. So, it's just secondhand nature at this point.
You feel like, last question I got for you, when you go up against a corner and it's press coverage, what's your mindset? What's going through your mind when you see that corner?
First I want to give all kudos to Davante Adams and Keenan Allen. I used to watch their mic up and all their routes and releases on YouTube, so I could see them, as if they got a ball in their hands. So I just took what they did and just put it in my own bag and add my own flavor too.
You can see that on your ball.
Let's shout out to the D3 player balling out. Such a disgrace to D1 players. This whole shit even now, for real. All this shit even now. No volume. Yeah, good bull rush. Okay. Damn, 9. Ooh, 66. Okay. Come on. You Iowa. You can't lose. 68 look good. I'm not gonna lie. 68. Good job, Willis. And 71. Yeah, he got bullied. Use your hands more. Oh, that was on the Miami. Oh, Caleb Banks. Shout out to my boy. Okay, good. Anchor 71. Boston College producing. Damn, Brockmeyer getting bullied. I'm not gonna lie. These D linemen, they not fair nowadays, man. Them boys 300 running 4.5s easily. Like it's nothing. It's just not fair, to be honest. Just not fair. Yeah, Billy said it. BC pipeline. Billy said it. That BC pipeline, that Notre Dame pipeline for linemen, Iowa. What's that old lineman from Iowa name? He looked like a first round pick. He probably on this list right here. I don't see his name. Let me search him up. Hold on. Iowa offensive lineman NFL draft. $20. Wait, hold on. I'm just trying to look for the guy. K-Piper. I forgot the kid's name, but I think it's Cade Piper. I'm not too sure. Okay, it's not copy and pasting. Yeah, my bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm just show y'all what I'm looking at. So I think this is the lineman that we seen at the Senior Bowl. You know, we definitely do need linemen. We definitely do need linemen for sure. So at one, they got Notre Dame lineman. They got Brandon Baker. You see all these guys I gotta do film on. I gotta watch film on them, get my honest opinion on which one I think is gonna work in the type of scheme that Hafley runs for the Dolphins. That's what I gotta do. You know, so I could give y'all the right information on these players. The right information. Let me look at quarterback. Bro, this is what, next year? I want to see this year. How can I go to 2026? Okay, I see it. Man, what's up with this page, man? Okay, we good. Okay, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, Gary Nussmeier. I heard he played pretty well. Carson Beck, nah. Chambliss, he might be worth a shot. Drew Allar, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it over to the Browns and there's a quarterback competition between Shedeur Sanders and him because Drew Allar, he's a big Browns guy, a big Cleveland guy, so it could work out over there for him rather than Shedeur. You know, I feel like he got more arm talent than Shedeur. You know, Shedeur probably has a better mind on his shoulders, maybe, in regards to like football knowledge, but at the same time, I feel like Drew Allar's talent is too hard to pass up on. He might just end up falling to the first round with a team that believes in his arm strength and his mobility. So keep an eye out for Drew Allar. Taylor Green, the 6'6" quarterback. He should be able to work, and he could also run pretty well. Should be able to work right, but he's been back and forth from this school to that school, this school to that school. Kind of too much. Miller Moss, I remember him, but nah. At Jalen Daniels, if you want to get a running back, okay, but nah. You go to part 2. North Fifita, you know, if you want another Tua, then this is your guy, but I'm pretty sure we don't, so nah. Luke Ottmeyer, you know, didn't really impress me, so nah. Connor Wigman, 6'3", 210. Bro, I don't know what's going on, man. Hold on. Yeah, that page was acting up. That page was acting up. It might be my son to hang it up, man. It might be my son to hang it up, man. And I got work in the morning. I got to be up early. I got to be up early. But I'm pretty sure more people going to be back on the stream if I start streaming consistently like every week. You know, I'm going to be back next year for sure. One thing I'm going to try to do before next season starts is get like a laptop so I could travel around with it and stream from anywhere that I'm at. You know, just come with the webcam connected to the laptop, and I'm gonna be right there in front of you to talk about like whatever Dolphins. Because I'm probably gonna have to be on the move a lot now. You know, I'm kind of like a sports agent or whatnot. So I'm gonna be city to city. But I still want to like hop on stream and talk about the team, the Dolphins. Still want to do that. You know. I don't know what color to choose. So I even turned my room into like a streaming room. I'm like, man, let me take this serious. Everybody got their streaming room. Let me make mine. It's gonna be my streaming room. For real. Let me see if there's anything else I could like hop into. There gotta be some on Twitter. Oh yeah, I can share this with y'all for sure. It's gonna be funny. This is regular home.
It's an old song, but I can't say it. It's an old song, but it's PAW backwards. I can't say it. It's an old song, but it's PAW backwards. I can't say it. It's an old.
You know why you like that song? We know why you like that song. We know why. You don't gotta hide it, Stephon Diggs. But I blame Cardi. She made that song, so she's actually advertising herself, stating that is what she has herself. So I blame it on Cardi B. You know, two things may be true, you know, but I'm not gonna dig in too deep about it because you know that's his dime, you know. But a shout out to Stephon Diggs, you know, made it to the Super Bowl. You know, after time with the Vikings and the Bills, he found the right team to make it to that big dance. He found the right team when nobody else believed in the Patriots. Stephon Diggs said, F it, let me just take this shot with the rookie quarterback. And he had enough belief in himself to the point where I think with the rookie quarterback, I can make things work. You know, him going to Houston kind of made him look badder than he actually was, especially after that ACL tear. But he came back and it seemed like he had a pretty healthy season. A pretty healthy season. So we're going to see, man. Somebody got to lose the Super Bowl. Somebody got to lose.
Song, but it's PAW backwards.
Jalen Hurts says he'd pick NBA YoungBoy to do the Super Bowl halftime show if it were his choice. He'd definitely turn it up. I'm not even gonna lie. He would. But they want somebody more universal. One thing about NBA, he's a universal artist, but not everybody is acceptive of him. They're probably gonna pick the person who everybody is more acceptive towards, which is Bad Bunny. But hey, at this point, you just gotta let the NFL do what they want to do at this point. No matter how much years we tell them to fix Madden, the boys still don't fix Madden. They don't do nothing. But hey, if they make this happen, I forgive y'all. I forgive Madden. I forgive NCAA. I forgive NFL. Everybody. I forgive y'all if y'all make NBA YoungBoy happen.
At the highest level. Now, Jalen, you have continuously led your team at the highest level. Now, it is Black History Month. What does it mean to you to have this position as a Black quarterback?
It's something you have a lot of gratitude for, something that you have a lot of passion for. You know what you represent, and I think that all comes from knowing what's come before you. So there are a lot of greats, a lot of people like me that have had opportunities and have not had opportunities that I do it for. And so I know I represent a large group of people, and I carry that with me every day.
Now, there are a lot of college players that look up to you. What would you say that they need to do to be able to play the position that you play every single day?
It starts with the effort, starts with the work, being clear, having a clear mindset on what you want to accomplish, and then putting in the time, the energy, the long nights, the early mornings to go out there and do it. You're always going to be a product of your preparation, and sometimes you have moments where it goes the way you want, and sometimes you have moments where you have to go back to the drawing board and put even more work in. So I say that.
Now,
the boys went from the Super Bowl to the Pro Bowl. Super Bowl to the Pro Bowl, man. Let's see if they can make it back to the Super Bowl. Let's see.
Now, earlier you mentioned grace. What are some of the grace that you looked up to when you were trying to get to this moment today?
The older I got, I began to have a different perspective, or I guess a more broader view on it. So going back to Randall Cunningham and what he was for the position, Michael Vick, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Steve Young. I'm still always digging, still always trying to learn as much as I can from those guys, but they definitely have an ongoing impact on
me. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Terry Rozier has won his salary dispute with the NBA and will be paid his full $26.6 million salary for the season after his federal Grammy answer. All right, but they say gambling is illegal. He probably had to pay a lot of money back to those Hard Rock bets, to those Prize Picks. Paid all that money back, and then okay, we will just leave it alone. They go Mac Hollins barefoot. That boy barefoot again. Maybe tomorrow I might drop the link so people can hop on I kind of waited too late. Kind of waited too late. Yep, kind of waited too late. It's cool though. It's cool though. Let me see what else I got for y'all. Yeah, I don't see no news. That should have saved. Yeah, I seen that video before. Nasty. I don't think I see. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me, man. I think that's gonna be it. But I appreciate y'all. You already know what it is. DG Dolphin Gang Entertainment. It's been a little minute, but we're officially back, and I know where this is gonna take me. So I'm for sure locked in now. For sure locked in. I just gotta be able to travel with this. Once I'm able to travel this, you'll see wherever I'm at, and that's about that. There's all love. Shout to Billy, shout to CB for coming on over. Shout to I don't even know his name. Shout to Youngin, something like that. Shout out to Wildcard, my boy. Shout out to White or No Seer. I'm not too sure if I'm saying that right. And shout out to my boy Stan, man. No, wait, is it B Stan? Man, 954. Yeah, the video restarted. But yeah, like I said, y'all, I'll probably be back again tomorrow once I have time to entertain y'all, and we're gonna go over like each position. We're gonna go over free agents and the quarterbacks in the draft, running backs in the draft, running backs in free agency. Same thing for every other position. We're gonna see if we got good enough players now. You're gonna see if there's some players we can let go, and then we're gonna see if there's some players you could actually remove completely. So you definitely gonna make it happen, y'all. Definitely gonna make it happen. But hey, like I said once again, it's your boy DG, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm gone.